What's up, people? It's your boy Cypher Providence. Uh, in this video, we'll be talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street as we continue our streak for our horror marathon. We'll not only be talking about Nightmare on Elm Street in general, but we'll be talking about the second film as well as the first one. As I thought it would be nice to do double features every once in a while. I did one with The Strangers, so I thought, why not just knock out two Nightmare on Elm Streets in one? So here's my double feature for Nightmare on Elm Street. The first one was released in 1984, and the second one was released in 1985. 1 year release dates are crazy, especially thinking about it now. Like, if we got sequels like that now, I don't know if the quality of movies would be as good, but it would be a crazy thing to witness nowadays. I liked how both movies dealt with Freddy differently. So for the first one, they kind of deal with Freddy, like the character, and like how to beat him, as like the character learning about Freddy's weaknesses and everything, and realizing like he's only powered by like your belief in him and you're being scared of him. So I thought that they handled that very well for that film. And then the second one deals with it in a slightly different way, where you're still getting the same payoff of, like the characters not being afraid of Freddy and showing that to him, but also they did this thing of like kind of this film based around like identity, and as well as the main reason as to why they defeat Freddy is by the main character Jesse overcoming this thought of overcoming Freddy's possession of him, basically, and that's how they defeat him in that film, with the female lead, Jesse's girlfriend Lisa, being the one to break him out of it, which is like slightly different, which is entirely different from how they dealt with him in the first film. So I like how they, like, at least so far, because I will be watching 3 and 4 later on today, but it's interesting that they went about it that way, where they had like one film deal with Freddy this way, and this is how you beat him, and then the second way they deal with him in an entirely different way. I thought that was really cool. Also, going back onto the theme of identity for the second one, it was revealed, or at least it's heavily hinted and implied throughout the film, that this is a very queer slash bi themed movie, which I really liked and dug, because I myself am at least bi curious. So seeing that in the film was really cool and something I really enjoyed seeing. And I liked how they kind of made it like a subtle subtext that wasn't like overly thrown into your face. So if you got it, you got it, and if you didn't, you would still enjoy the movie regardless. The films weren't all that scary. Of course, there were scenes that were like kind of like scary, I guess, in air quotes, but it had good effects to kind of let your brain imagine and visualize what he was doing, especially because Freddy, unlike most of the slasher franchise killers or whatever, is he's more not necessarily powerful or anything, or like but I would say out of all of them, he utilizes the power thing more than the others, because he's like a dream demon. Like, that's basically what he is. I'm not sure if that's a phrase coined in the films that I'll see later on, but he is a dream demon. And like, so him being able to use his dream powers and dream manipulation shit to kill people was cool to see, and the effects around it were really good. And those effects ended up aiding in like a lot of cool kills and moments throughout the films. There's only like I would say, at least for me, maybe one or two scenes. One scene in particular, especially, that kind of do a disservice to me speaking highly of the effects, which is the end of the first film, and then maybe one of the kills in the second one, but I could be wrong. The final girls in both films were really cool. I liked how the first one focuses on Nancy being like the straight final girl, like not like straight as in like sexuality speaking, but straight as in like she is your main focus and she's the main character of the film. You kind of get baited into thinking it's going to be another character, one of her friends, but that character ends up getting killed. So you realize that, oh, it's not going to be her and it's going to be Nancy. But then in the second one, because we're focused on Jesse throughout the whole film, we don't realize until like, or we don't see until like the basically the end of the film that Lisa becomes the final girl of that film. And I thought like they were both cool. Nancy in particular was really cool because she was like this badass who was like, I'm gonna figure out what's going on and I'm going to try and stop this thing, if despite no one believing me and everyone thinking I'm crazy and all that. And she ended up did. Like, mind you, it took her a while, but she showed that she was a smart character, and I really dug that. And Elisa was also cool because despite this dream demon monster possessing her boyfriend, she had the courage to go up against him and try to save her boyfriend, which I really liked. So that made both of the final girls for the films really cool. Jesse also in the second film, he's the main character. He did an excellent job as being the not final girl, but the main character. I liked the subtle subtext of like him potentially being bi and being interested in both men and women, and I thought that was really cool. I thought the way they did it was really nice and everything. And I thought Jesse was a cool character that was his film. He had great same with Nancy too. They both have great dynamics with the characters in their films, and so I really dug that and appreciated that. And yeah, speaking on to the next big focal point character, obviously, as you can see by both of the posters for this film or for these films, Freddy Krueger, excellent horror icon. Everyone knows him. At least if like you, even I feel like most people know who Freddy Krueger is, and if not knowing who he is, they've heard of him. And in these films, he's showcased why, from being like he's still like a playful kind of sadistic dream demon-y guy, but in the first one, he was played up to be more serious, and second one, he's still serious, but he has his moments where he's like, you know, playing around with the characters that he's gonna kill and all that. And I really dug that. He was a treat to watch anytime he was on the screen. And I thought like his mind, his dream demon powers were really cool. I like that he's like, at least for a way to differentiate him from all the other horror icons, his is really like the fact that he's like a full-blown dream demon, where the other ones are like, you can questionably say that they're human, or they're like superhuman, or they're just straight, like, yeah, like I said, human, superhuman, or they have like some slight powers, but it's, you could debate whether they have powers or not. Where Freddy's just like, nah, I straight have full powers. And I like how the characters have to kind of overcome his dream powers and have to find out ways to combat that, because everyone needs sleep, so they have to think of ways to either prevent themselves from going to sleep or figure out ways to kind of drag him into our reality so that they could then harm and hurt him. Also, I like how both films have a sense of connection to them, where the first one, obviously it's like the first film, but then the second one openly references Nancy and her troubles and how it had happened 5 years ago, how they literally name drop her, and there's a notebook or a diary that depicts some of the events that were happening in the first one, which is how they are able to at least like better understand or have a better shot of understanding what could possibly be going on towards the latter half of the film for the second one. The first one though, I would say was kind of like it was a nice intro to the character and the franchise in total, and I would say I would prefer Nancy as a character over Jesse, but I feel like Jesse and Lisa as a combo did better and gripped me better than Nancy by herself, which isn't a negative on Nancy's part because she did really good. She held her own, but it's because of Jesse's and Lisa's strong performances, for me at least, I really like that. But yeah, I felt like the first one was a nice intro to what we would be getting later on, and the second one was the better of the two, and it helped me be more intrigued and interested in the story than I was after the first one. Not to say I wasn't interested, but I was like, oh, so this is the first Nightmare on Elm Street. It's good, but like I was hoping it would be better. But then the second one did improve on that. And so overall, my scores for this film is the first one's gonna be getting a 6.5 out of 10. Solid film, like I said, good introduction to the franchise. Nancy as a character was done well. Her connection with her mom, her dad, and then her group of like 4 to 5 friends was cool, and I liked that. But aside from that, it was just a good introduction, and I thought like it was just alright overall. And then Nightmare on Elm Street number 2, 7.5 out of 10. Basically, at least for me, kind of did better overall for the film. I'd say the only thing it kind of lacked in comparison was kind of the strong family slash friend dynamics that the first one had, but it kind of makes up for it with the two strong lead protagonists of the film being Jesse and Lisa. And also, I think I had more fun with the Freddy in the second one than I did the first one. And yeah, that's basically it. Pretty good movies. Obviously, if you haven't seen these classics, like I hadn't seen these before this, so if you haven't seen these classics, I say go out your way to watch them. They're fun. They're a nice watch to go through for the Halloween season. They get you in the vibe. And yeah, with that out of the way, peace. See you on the next video, and follow my socials. I'll put them at the end of the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out of here. Stay pimpin', pimps.